Question of the night. I asked everyone who came in here early, what question do you want to ask the group? And we got a couple good ones. So here's the question of the night. The first one: what's one thing you are going to stop doing in your business? Because so often we ask, what are you going to do? Or we give you advice on new things to do. But a lot of the times we know the shitty things that we're doing or the stuff we're doing that's not right.
I mean, I'll go first. Stop doing is being on conversations for too long with people. I find myself talking to someone, and yes, it's great to build a relationship, but next thing you know, it's 45 minutes later and you should have talked to more people than that one person, despite the relationship that you're building, especially if it's someone that you have an established relationship with. That is one thing I do need to stop doing.
Good. And I know you need to work on that because you're definitely playing a numbers game.
Yeah.
With how many agents that you talk to.
Yeah, I have to agree with Ryan. That's something that I struggle with too. Sometimes people just love to talk about everything that's going on in their world, and it's like, buddy, I got stuff to do. I got 2 other calls while we've been talking. So trying to end that in those longer conversations in a good way is a struggle. I've tried some different things, saying, oh, I'm getting a call on the other line, or I got an appointment in 5 minutes or something like that. But trying to budget your time on phone calls and clients.
Hey everyone, Luca from Actually Agents here. Just wanted to take a quick second to bring your attention to an amazing opportunity we've secured for the Actually Agents community through our partnership with BAM. If you use code ACTUALLY on the website link in the description, you'll gain 10% off to the BAMX training platform. It is jam-packed with courses, information, ebooks, scripts, and more, all specifically designed for the modern real estate agent like yourself who's ready to commit to their craft and 10x their business this coming year. Remember, use code ACTUALLY. It's 10% off. The link is in the description. Thanks so much for your support. David Cohen, question of the day is, what's one thing you want to stop doing in your business?
I have to stop personally just trusting buyers. Doesn't matter how big they are. I deal with a lot of big buyers. A lot of times when I build new relationships, I just simply, here, take the information, right? And not that they screw me or anything, but one thing that I got to stop doing is that. So from now on, doesn't matter how many deals we've done, what we've closed together, how big, I need you to sign an NDA over and over and over again for every single deal. So
especially in your world, it's so easy to not want to seem extractive or commission focused like a residential agent. Just let's see if it's good for the guy first. Let's not tie him up with paperwork, blah 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 blah. And they pull that line on you too, the buyers. Like, oh, we don't even know if we're gonna buy it. I don't want to sign anything. And it's like, no, boundaries, dude.
It's a give and take, right? Because especially you want to come from a place of up front of yeah, man, I do this. I'm gonna trust you, I know how it goes. Here you go, and sometimes that might turn around and bite you in the ass.
100%, man. Thanks for the honest answer. Kyle.
What's up, guys? I think one thing I've been struggling with in some cases is trying not to be overly helpful to people that aren't actually looking to better themselves. Over the years, I just found that go out of the way and do all this stuff, and I'm not expecting anything in return. I never do, but it becomes something where they ultimately don't apply any of it or just don't care and just do whatever they wanted to do anyway. And I'm just how do I stop doing all of this with people that don't actually appreciate it? And maybe it's me. I could just tell them hey, no, I'm too busy, and just focus on what I'm doing. It just adds up. So just try to be a little more selective on who I'm trying to help mentor.
Well, 100%, especially with you in a leadership position where you're kind of required to cultivate these agents. I mean, I experienced this dozens of times. I would take an agent who's completely new, build them up, and then they would either not do anything or end up jumping ship saying, oh, the grass is greener over there. And it's man, all that time feels like it was wasted, right?
Yeah, 100%, dude.
We have the Dana White of real estate up on stage, everybody.
How you guys doing, man? This is exciting. I love it. One thing that I would stop doing, honestly, it's I'm getting really bad with allowing myself to waste too much time during the day. I guess I start with this idea that I'm have all this structure, all this focus, all of this intent, and I allow the day just to kind of dictate my activities versus the other way around. It's always something I've struggled with. That's the one thing that, it just has always plagued me, and something that will continuously be something I work on.
I see a common thread with all of us here. Most of these things we want to stop doing end up relating back to not wasting time.
It's just like, how do you create more time in the day? It's all efficiency based, and it's all like, MMAs, we call them MMAs, money making activities. But you have this whole focus, and then you get a phone call and this and that. And it's like, I'm not a very good multitasker, right? So I'm like, gotta figure out how to get my focus back in line.
I think that's a struggle with a lot of people because, like you said, I mean, we're on all the time for our clients, especially, and especially if you have a nightmare deal going on, and it's just you're trying to have this battle with consistently prospecting, but then you have this deal blowing up, which is taking all your attention away. And that
Right.
takes priority because that's making money. So it's easy to get sidetracked. And next thing you know, it's just super loosey-goosey and you lose the day. And that could happen weeks in a row, potentially. I find the only time I'm extremely on the dot is when I have like specific meetings, specific times. Like I know I need to be here within 30 minutes. So if I get a phone call within that 15-minute period, I'm going to have to end it because I have another meeting. So I find I'm most productive when have a significant amount of meetings just like back to back almost.
I'm the same way. If it's not in my calendar, I'm just drifting.
No.
One thing that I will say that's helped my efficiency. So I have a CRM, right, that gives me my kind of like my daily things that I need to do. And one of the things that I found is that, a lot of phone calls can be made while I'm driving, and I actually enjoy it.
I'm by no means consistent with it, but when I get to the point where things are stacking up personal and business wise, especially around tax season, I add making a to-do list to my morning routine. So while I drink my coffee and I'm sitting at the table, I play a game of chess and then I make my to-do list.
So one thing I will say on that, Luca, is that if I take 15 minutes the night before to plan the next day, you wake up with so much like clarity with what my day should be. I'm like kicking myself in the ass for not doing it more often because the next day I just was a lot more focused.
That's actually a good point because, I'm thinking at some point in my life, I don't know where it stopped, but I used to end my day with laying out my clothes the night before.
Yeah.
My mom would make me lay out my clothes the night before. And it eliminated a lot of the rush and scramble in the morning. You saying that just brought that up into my head. Thank you, everybody, for sharing those points. It's kind of nice to know we're all kind of experiencing a lot of the same frustrations. Misery loves company and all of that.